What a beautiful, beautiful blue sky day. Not a cloud to be... Okay, there's one little cloud and another little cloud, but otherwise no clouds. Still, it's a Sunday morning. What better to do than to go riding? So, I often get asked, which is your favorite bike? And I don't know how to answer it because, well, I generally say it's the last one I rode because I enjoy them all. But I thought what I'd do today to burn up some time and to have a reason to ride, because no one is with me, all alone, is to ride them all back to back on the same road. I'll do the Clevedon loop and just talk about each one, and then hopefully back to back when I get back I'll have a sense of which one I preferred on the day, and hopefully it won't just be the last one I rode. So we'll just go in order of size. I'll start off with the Harley, then I'll go to the Ninja 1000, and then I'll go to the BMW GS, and we'll take it from there. Of course, when you ride a bike, you've got to wear appropriate clothes, so I have different clothes for each bike. So for the Harley, we wear that. For the sport bike, we wear this, which is a Rivet, kind of like a sports leather jacket, and then for the GS, we'll wear the adventure suit. Okay, we'll start it up. Let it warm up for a little bit while I put my jackets on. It would help to be in neutral, Stuart. There you go. Yes, please. This bike knows how to shake, eh? I love it. It's like digga 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 digga. Okay, let's go. Yes, please. And we're off. Let's try to get out of here before we wake up too many people. Okay, so what do I say about the Harley? I mean, it's been all Harley lately. It's all blood, sweat and tears and guts and nerves and shakes and vibrations and noises and smells. It's a visceral experience, and I love it, especially with this exhaust. I bought some vinyl stickers now from a place, would you believe, around the corner. They're cutting them up especially for me. I'll get them on Monday and stick them on the side. Hopefully this wrap lasts. I can see there's a little bit of bubbling happening where the petrol has spilt, which is unfortunate. Beautiful day. Past this guy. What would make this the perfect bike? Do you know, possibly if the foot pegs were slightly further forward. My Vulcan were a little bit further forward than this. I believe there's another kit I can get that gives me another 2 inches. Put it there. But I just don't think it's worth it. It would be nice, but not for the money. This foot peg set was damn expensive. There's really not much else that I need to do to it. It's perfect. The heated grips work. They seem to come on their own now, which is awesome. Yeah, just love the feel of it. I guess what's next for the Harley is the community. So I've joined the HOG, which is the Harley Davidson owners group, the Hogs. Got a welcome pack and a card and a patch, and I've now joined the Auckland Harley group as well. Although they've been doing a lot of rides, they've been doing them while I've been busy doing other things, so unfortunately I haven't met up with anybody yet. But I'm hoping that that'll add a new element to it, meeting up with other riders and comparing bikes and talking about our rides. I'm looking forward to doing that. I've had a look at some of the pictures of some of the groups. The demographic seems quite similar to the BMW group from an age and gender perspective. And ironically, they've got some big meeting for all the chapters, people flying in from around the country, and they're all converging on Formosa, which is literally 600 meters from my door. So that's interesting. What I might do is just splice in all 3 bikes on the same stretch of road, otherwise it'll be a little bit boring. Of course, there's something else I've got to do, which is the big outstanding item on this bike, and that is to put Simon on it and let him experience what it's like to ride a V-twin like this. He's just ridden the Vulcan, which, although performant, doesn't quite have the same torque down low, but pretty much the same performance beyond. But doesn't sound the same and doesn't have that same feeling. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one day when he's back in the saddle. At the moment he's sold his bikes and focusing on baby and new house that they moved into, so he'll be distracted with that and a new job, so lots of new things on the go. So he needs a few months to settle in before he gets back to biking. Got a lot of pull. I was only half throttle. The thing with the Harley is you've got such a narrow band of RPM that works in any given situation. So you got to find the right gear all the time. So you're shifting more, but that's okay. It does go around corners surprisingly well in comparison to my previous Sportster. You know, it's no sport bike for sure, but I've not had any anxiety around the corners at all. It's just turned. So that's not an issue like I thought it might be. And it's got ABS, which is great. All of my bikes now have ABS. So there's that element of safety as well. And into Clevedon we come. So to summarise the Harley, I think it's apt to quote from Harry Potter, "I do solemnly swear that I am up to no good," or something like that. Home sweet home. Alright, it's Ninja's turn. I've changed my jacket to my sport jacket. Well, sportier jacket, my rivet. I'm even changing my gloves to my sportier gloves, not my Harley gloves. Just get into neutral, give it a bit of time to warm up. My least ridden bike at the moment, considering my long trip on the GS recently and all the Harley time, so I'm looking forward to a bit more time. The one thing that's remarkably different right away is the mirrors. The other two bikes are very easy to see behind you. The Ninja, not so much. I get mostly in my hands. Okay, let's go. But it's also buttery smooth in comparison. So there you go. So unlike the Harley, this bike you can go around roundabouts in first or in fourth and you'll hardly feel a difference. Oops, it also doesn't have auto cancelling indicators. I've got to have to remember to turn things off. But yeah, is a precision machine, this. Completely different posture, sitting up on top of it, leaning slightly forward. My feet are tucked up a little bit. Not not racing bike style, but definitely completely different to feet forward. These are the Carnival Co. gloves, the Protective Pro, not just the protective ones, the pros. Anyway, so the bike revs completely differently at 6,000 RPM. Feels like it's screaming, but it goes all the way up to 11. So it's really not screaming at 6,000 RPM, but it feels like it. Sublime. So you do want to just lean forward and take some turns in this bike. And I'm reminded that it's got quite a stiff seat in comparison. I think I could only last 2 hours on it last time I went touring before it became a bit uncomfortable, so I will be looking for a nicer seat or a softer seat if I do more touring on this bike, which I will. I mean, the Harley seat is even much more comfortable, which is ridiculous. Harley seats are not well known for being comfortable. Beautiful. So smooth. And of course there's all that power on tap. You don't want to make a mistake with your wrist here. You'll be on the ground real quick. I think it's 140 odd horsepower, so it's manageable but good. 100 foot-pound, 100 newton meters of torque. Here we are back in Maritai. Let's give these people a chance to cross. It's really difficult to know which bike I prefer at this point. This bike is so well mannered, so precise, and so exciting to just twist the throttle and, you know, you get that surge. So it's a completely different surge experience to the Harley. I mean, you know, it doesn't take much to get to 130, 140 on this thing. Here we come into Clevedon. What a lovely ride, what a beautiful day, what a beautiful bike. So I love my Kawasaki Ninja 1000. It's just to remind, it's an import from Pennsylvania, where it had done, I think, 4,000 miles, brand new basically. I got it at 6,000 kilometers. It is now 9,260, so I've put only 3,000 k's on it, not a lot, but I've enjoyed those 3,000 k's and I've done some touring. It's a beautiful bike. It is attractive. It's a 2015, so it's not the latest model, so it doesn't have certain lean angle traction control things, but it has ABS. It has got different modes. I tend to ride it in the fast mode, full mode, as opposed to the low mode, unless it's raining, but I don't normally take this bike out in the rain anyway. It's a completely different experience. It's technology to the hilt. It's all of Japanese latest engine technology. It's a beautiful engine, 4-cylinder wine, smooth as butter all the way through, very forgiving but very powerful. So not the type of bike you put into a newbie's hands, not unless you want them to live. It doesn't make me anxious like a racing bike, where you sit really on top of it, your wrists are sawn low, feet are really tucked up behind you, and the bike is screaming at you the whole time, even though you're sort of going mid-speed. This one seems to be a very nice balance. It has a very, very light clutch. You know, I can hardly feel if I've changed down or changed up sometimes. I mean, I know I have, but there's so little resistance. It's so smooth. It's almost a quick shifter. That type of feeling. And I think you can put a quick shifter onto this thing. I wouldn't, because I like playing the clutch, but old school. Like there, I've changed down twice and I'm probably in second or first, but it's hardly feel myself change down. It's just so smooth. So you got to be really careful there. If you're a little bit too quick on the trigger, you've raised that front tire a bit. Homeward stretch. Right, so last but not least is Gus, Big Gus. Whew, it's quite a bit of riding I'm doing now, 3 in a row. Also, I've got different gloves, so not those, these. Other ones will be too hot, so I'll wear my rivets. And there she is, in her glory, 2004. So getting on now, but still going, purred all the way to Okuni and back, like an absolute dream. So I'm looking forward to having a ride on her again, and again a completely different sitting style, and a completely different styled bike as well. and we're off. Lovely soft seat in comparison to the Kawasaki's seat. And there we go. Just ease into her. She hasn't had a lot of time to rev. It's got very strong brakes in comparison to the other two because they are power assisted. And off we go. The other thing I can do is stand on this bike. I can't stand on the other two. Oh, I'm enjoying this. Am I going to conclude at the end that I like the last one I rode on? Could well do. They are all that good. And off we go. So, in comparison to the other two, this is a very big bike. You sit very high. The engine felt like a tractor in comparison to the Kawasaki, but let me tell you something, it feels refined in comparison to the Harley. So you get used to all of them. Boxer engine, right? So the cylinders are out to the side, as you know, just in front of my shins. It's also 1200 like the Harley, so I've got heaps of power. Again, delivers it differently, and this is like the jack of all trades bike. This is the Swiss Army knife of bikes. Can go off-road, on-road, it can do the twisties, it can tour. It's a very versatile bike and a very comfortable bike, and probably the most common sense choice out of the three if you only had one choice to make. But I will produce my final thoughts when I'm finished. Let's not jump the gun. But on this trip I am definitely going to get some coffee. So also put my heated grips on recently, might as well turn them on to copy what I did with the other two bikes. And back to beautiful Maraita. Now the one thing I haven't changed on all of these trips is my helmet. I've had my Shoei on, my GT Air 2 Shoei on the whole time, which probably only suits the sport bike, but would have been a bit more painful to have to swap out helmets as well. Every time I come here I see different bikes. It's great. Because I don't think I'll get another GS. I think my goal with Gus is to keep Gus going until 200,000 Ks. Honestly, I can't see any benefit in the newer GS's other than the cost. That's not a benefit, that's just huge. This cost me $7,000. And it's probably worth 9 or 10. I just got it from a deceased estate, and got a good price. So but a new one, if I'm going to upgrade, will cost 20. Not new, a newer one will cost me 20, and a brand new one will be in the 30s. So it's just a crazy amount of money for similar experience. Yeah, the new ones are more refined, they have much more technology, more features, but at the end of the day it's a big, heavy boxer engine BMW experience, and I love it. So look, I'm stuck behind a really old slow car again. It's my life. And we leave Maraita and head towards Clevedon. Also a very easy clutch in comparison to the Harley's clutch, but not as definitely not as easy and light as the Ninjas. Still makes a clunk. Well, all my bikes get up to over 100 real quick and real easy. choose out of the three, I'm going to have a difficult job of this, because unapologetically I like bike, right? I like all of them. They all bring something different to the game, and I'm glad I don't have to choose between them. I was listening to a guy on YouTube who was saying the only regrets he has with motorbikes are the ones that he sold. And I can kind of understand that, actually. I miss the Vulcan for what it was. Prefer the Harley, but I miss the Vulcan, and it was just beautiful looks. Even Trudy, the VL250 with no power, had a certain character that I miss. And my little 650 Ninja, you know, it was a great bike as well. I'd love to have another go on it. In Clevedon, excuse my sniffing, now to find good coffee. You know what, I'm gonna go in here. Here we go. They make good coffee here.
Pretty much.
So it's very difficult to know which is the best. They are each the best in different respects. Like the GS is the most comfortable. I've sat in that bike the whole day, and I have not ever been uncomfortable. It's got a lovely windshield, so you're protected. It's the most versatile. The Harley is the most fun, no question. And the Ninja is the most exhilarating because of its performance. So each one of them is the best in a different respect, and I'm real glad I have all three.